Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to go over the proportions of the face. It's going to start with a brief introduction to the basic forms and the difference between the first and second contour. I've taught this before, but it's so important. It's a review, and I think if you can keep it in mind, this is going to go very well. We're going to be working with a cartooning method, so we're not going to be drawing, super rigid fine art drawings. My drawing, I'm sure, will come out a little bit quirky, and that's kind of the fun. So do your best to follow along, and we'll take a look at these tomorrow at our meet. Hey guys, so welcome to our portraiture demo. I thought it would be a good way to learn, well, what I thought would be a good way to learn would be not to copy photographs right away, but to learn a system. So I'm going to introduce you to the Loomis method as far as I understand it. There's people who understand it better than me, but that's not the point. So the first thing I want to define for you though, and I've done this, I do this demo a lot. This is but it's so potent, it's such a good reminder, is there are two contours, okay? There are the first and second contour. And they describe two different things. So the first contour describes the outline, okay? It's how our eye moves around the object. So I'm drawing this outline. My eye moves around the outside of the object, okay? The second contour, so this is the first contour, sorry, describes around. So it's describing around the object. All right. The second contour describes how your eye should scan across the object. And if you can keep these two things straight, you are going to have a great time drawing. A lot of times people struggle because they confuse these two contours, and it's all about just giving the eye instructions. So there we go. All right, so there's my two contours. So when we talk about drawing and the two contours, we also talk about the essential forms or the basic forms. This would be a cube. That's my form. You also have a sphere, which starts as a circle, and then you have a line of symmetry, and then you have your cross contours. So the first contour was the circle. It tells your eye how to move around the page. And now we've got these wonderful cross contours that are telling our eye how to move across the object. So it's two sets of instructions. All right. You could also have cylinders, which start with ellipses, and then, all right, so maybe I'll bold the first contour of the cylinder. So the first contour of the cylinder is going around the cylinder and over the cylinder, okay? And then the second contour, it goes across like that. I'm going to draw the contour line first, and I can draw it. Okay, so our eyes are scanning across. So they scan, 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 and they go up, over, and scan, continue. There are the two types of contours, and we have our cube, our sphere, and our cylinder. And remember that you can shrink and warp and distort. So if your cylinder has a small side, line of symmetry, and a large side, all right, that's okay. This is still a cylinder. It just has two different size. All right, before we continue, let me show you just kind of the general layout of a person's head, because it's all about proportion. Typically, a person's head can have a sphere in it. All right, and then it's actually, you can break it into two spheres. All right, and then there's the center line, the line of symmetry. And then just above, right about here, is your brow line. Just about middle of here is your nose line, and then your mouth line, and your chin. So that's kind of like your spacing. You could even put like the bridge of the nose here. And as long as you keep these things, more or less together, you're gonna be okay. Put in that's like the circle of the mouth, eyes, and the head's always gonna be a little bigger than the rest of the body, and the neck. But the most important things to manage are your center line and your eye line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I'm going to work with first and second contours. And if you need to pause, you're allowed to pause. If I'm moving too slow, you can speed it up. But let's see what we can do here. So let's start it out with a circle, which is the first contour of a sphere. And then let's say our midline goes just beneath, so it's kind of like this, our center line. And this center line, it's the center of the face, so the face is tilting and looking to the side. Let's finish this off with, okay, this is a contour line right here. So picture this as like a piece of string, and it makes even more sense if like I tilt it like this, but you got to picture it like a piece of string hanging off the ball. So let's keep it going. The next thing I want to do is I want to cut off the sides of the sphere. So if I have a sphere, and for those of you that did my form subtraction lesson, you're going to get this. But if I have a sphere and it has its contour lines, its cross contour lines, depending on which ones I bold and which ones I don't, I can cut away from this sphere. So for example, let's say I just bold these ones. All right, it's almost like I had, an orange and I cut the edge off of it. All right, see my orange? I don't know if that's how an orange looks. So I'm going to do that over here because our head, if you feel the sides of your head, it's actually kind of flat. Okay, so your forehead is nice and round, and then the sides of your head are nice and flat. So let's we're going to pick this contour up and turn it into an oval. There we go. Looks great. Looks great. And then we're going to find kind of the center point to this. And this line is going to have the same angle as this line. So just like that. All right. Eye line. Where does the eye line go? It's going to be perpendicular to this. So 90-degree angle. And it looks like it almost just kind of goes across and then wraps through. So there's our eye line. No problems there. Let's drop off a little bit here, and then we'll just kind of follow it around to here. This is just going to be like the loose gesture of that cheek. Don't get too caught up in that. We'll bring the chin over, and then what happens here is this comes down and turns into the other side of the chin, and then the neck is slightly behind it with an earlobe that kind of just does one of these guys. All right, and this is all still the layout. We're just laying things in. This is very light, easy work. The next thing we're going to do is, because it's a lady we're drawing, we are going to put in the outline of the hair. And I'm just going to kind of keep it loose and maybe put a curl in there, and then another there, and maybe another curl. These are just little tubes. There. And then we'll put a ponytail in the back. Just like that. Okay, and it's loose. If this is you, you're working in light pencil. And then let's, right around here, we'll put in the eyebrows. And remember that the eyebrow wraps around the head right there. Let's put in the nose. It's going to be a very, very gentle suggestion of a nose. A diagonal line, the letter O, line, and then we'll put another kind of just And the way I like to think about the way this is done is it almost looks like the percent sign. So less is more with this nose. And then just beneath, we will do 2 just kind of almond shapes for eyes. If we don't like them, we can always change them later. Keep it light, keep it loose. And then just kind of like a letter M that stretches out in one direction further than the other for the lips. Right. There we go. So the face is looking a little long, so we'll shorten that up when we touch it up. Let's give that a shot. So I'm going to start with an eyebrow. And I'm going to bring the eyebrow over. I'm going to kind of do like a partial fill. A little bit of hatching. Make that eyebrow much longer. A little more hatching. We're going to make sure that the shape of the eye is correct on the outside. So I'm going to, right here, come in and out. And then it looks like there's like a subtle dip here. All right. We're going to make sure that the width of the face is correct. So I think off of this eyebrow right here, we have a little bit of space, and then we have kind of like a suggestion of the there. Let's get the ear knocked in. So what happened was I noticed my drawing was a little too narrow, a little stretched out. So some of my line work is like way outside of where I originally had it, and that is like okay. You know, it's no one gets this their first try. All right, we'll put in the rest of the forehead. Put in the, we'll do kind of like an implied line thing here. The rest of the hair. Now this line is really good here for knowing where the head starts to turn, so that you can get the hairline correct. I'm actually going to work back up from where the ear is because I noticed that right there, there's kind of like a shape thing going on. Get that there. Curl. Hair you can really do a lot with. It's kind of a nice, almost like can save the drawing sometimes. Alright, so make sure the distance between your eyebrow and your eye is significant, because if there's not enough space, it's not going to look right. Drop that eye in there. The eyes will make or break your drawing. It's really kind of crazy how it works. But I think that a lot of times, if you just kind of take it easy, you can get a good eye drawn. It's when you overwork them that they tend to kind of fall apart. So just take it really slow with your eyes, kind of work around make sure that you're not forcing anything. Like I'm looking off my image, and your image will be my image, so we'll see. Maybe that makes it worse. But I definitely think that you just gotta take it nice and easy. There we go. And I'm kind of detecting that my nose is a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to track this from this eye down. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to draw. And then I'm going to put that in. That's the corner. And then we'll put in right here. That's the opening. And then we'll put in the base of the nose. And then we will kind of off the base of the nose do one of those. And there. And that's, I mean, the nose isn't great, but I would definitely not overwork it. I would leave it loose. And then underneath the nose is the septum. And then just below the septum is the other lip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one side of the lip dark and the other side of the lip light. Uh-oh. Might live to regret this decision. We'll see if I can bring it back. Yeah, this will be fine. She looks unimpressed. So, put in that, finish out the hair. All right, let's see what we can do here. So maybe I will I'll beef up this area over here. To kind of give her more dimensionality. And I think this hair might work just as a solid black fill. Not totally solid. Put a dot in both eyes, kind of just to make sure they're all there. Give this some texture. There we go. The hair is going to really tell the tale here. Put some of that in. And maybe we'll just kind of bold the rest of that. I think it's going to be important to get some of these first contours, just kind of let the viewer know where things start and stop. So there we go. There is my face demo. I'm going to stop before I ruin the drawing because I keep going back into it. Or maybe I'll just keep drawing and I'll cut the video off when I ruin the drawing. Let's give this a little bit of shade so it looks a little more nose-like. And then maybe just underneath the chin, just like that. So there is my demonstration of drawing a lady. Can always give her a little bit more information. I want you guys to try it on your own. I want you to keep in mind that drawing faces is very difficult. So if you don't get it first try, that's okay. We're still kind of figuring out this e-learning thing anyway. It's, you know, what you can do at home is always different than what you can do in a classroom. So this is kind of going to be a one-day thing. We'll check in with you, and if it goes well, we'll continue. And if it looks like you guys are having a tough time, well, then we'll pivot. It's no big deal. So you guys are an awesome group. Thanks again for checking in, and we'll see you at our meet tomorrow.